Okay, so have you ever been in that spot where you really need to tell someone, hey, don't do that in Spanish, but your brain just freezes? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. It's a classic sticking point. Well, today we're going to completely demystify Spanish negative commands so you can start saying no with total confidence. Let's get right into it. I mean, it's such a common hurdle, right? You've got the positive commands down pat, like do this or go there. But the second you need to say don't, it's like a whole new set of rules just appeared out of nowhere. But seriously, don't worry. By the time we're done here, you're going to have this whole thing figured out. So here's the game plan. We'll kick things off with what I call the golden rule. It's going to cover like 90% of what you need. Then we'll see it in action, talk about the one big exception you need to know, level up with object pronouns, and wrap it all up with a super handy cheat sheet. All right, let's get to the good stuff, the golden rule. Honestly, this is the key to unlocking negative commands. If you can get this one concept down, everything else just kind of falls into place. It's a real game changer. And here it is. The magic formula is just no plus the present subjunctive form of the verb. That's it. Now, don't let the word subjunctive scare you. It's just a specific verb mood, and for our purposes today, it's the mood for commands. The best part? This simple little combo works for almost everyone you talk to. Your friend, your boss, a whole crowd of people. It's that powerful. Okay, so that's the rule, but how does it actually work when you're speaking? Let's put it into action. We're going to break it down person by person, starting with the one that trips everybody up. And here it is, the biggest pitfall for learners, the informal to command. Here's what you really have to remember. The negative to command is not the same as the positive one. This is the number one mistake people make. You can't just take the command for speak, which is habla, and slap a no in front. It doesn't work that way. You've got to use our golden rule. Just look at this comparison. It makes it super clear. For hablar, the positive command is habla, but the negative is no hables. See that S ending? For comer, you've got come versus no comas. And even for the weird irregular verbs, the pattern holds. Haz for do it becomes no hagas. Say for be becomes no seas. It is a totally different verb form every single time. It's that subjunctive form we talked about. Okay, so after that to curveball, I've got some good news for you. When it comes to the formal commands, usted for one person and ustedes for a group, it's way, way easier. Why? Because their positive commands already use the subjunctive. So all you have to do is pop a no in front. Hable becomes no hable. Coman becomes no coman. See? Our golden rule just works perfectly. And guess what? The exact same logic applies to nosotros commands. You know, when you want to say, let's not do something. You just grab that subjunctive form, put a no in front, and you're good to go. Let's not talk about that. No hablemos de eso. Let's not eat here. No comamos aquí. It's beautifully consistent. So at this point, it seems like our golden rule is unstoppable, right? Well, like with any language, there's always one little oddball. And in this case, that oddball is the vosotros form. And remember, this is the one you'll mostly hear in Spain. Okay, now here's the twist. The negative vosotros command technically still follows our golden rule. It uses the present subjunctive. So why do we even call it an exception? Well, it's because the affirmative command is so different. And the subjunctive endings for vosotros are really unique. You get an ace ending for our verbs and an ice ending for ER and ER verbs. You don't see those anywhere else. Let's make that concrete. For hablar, you get no habléis. For comer, it's no comáis. And for an irregular one like hacer, it's no hagáis. So you see, it is following the subjunctive rule. You just have to lock in those very specific endings. Okay, you've totally got the basic commands down. You're ready to level up. This is what I call the pro move, adding object pronouns. You know, those little words like it, me, or them that make your sentences so much richer. And this brings us to the second most important rule of the day. For pronouns, the negative command is the complete opposite of the positive one. With positive commands, you stick the pronouns on the end of the verb. But with negative commands, they jump to the front. They go before the verb, right after the no. This example makes it crystal clear. To say do it, you say hazlo. See how the lo is stuck right on the end? But to say don't do it, it becomes no lo hagas. The lo has jumped in front of the verb, tucked right between no and hagas. And it works even with multiple pronouns. Check this out.
Tell it to me is dímelo. Both me and lo are tacked onto the end. But the negative, don't tell it to me, they both jump to the front. No me lo digas. The formula is always the same. No, then your pronouns, then the verb.
Phew, okay, we have covered a ton of ground. So let's boil it all down into a final cheat sheet just to make sure everything really sinks in.
All right, here are the 4 absolute must-knows. Number 1, your foundation for everything is no plus the subjunctive. That's your golden rule. Number 2, always be careful with the to form. It's the big exception to the affirmative pattern. 3, pronouns, they always go before the verb in a negative command. And 4, irregular verbs stay irregular. So if you know your irregular subjunctives like vayas, sias, hagas, you're all set.
So here's a quick decision-making process you can use every time. Step 1, start with no. Easy enough. Step 2, figure out who you're talking to and grab the correct present subjunctive form for them. And step 3, got any pronouns like lo or may, just slide them right in before that verb. That's it. That's the whole process. And that's really all there is to it. You are now officially equipped to tell people not to do things in Spanish and to do it correctly. From a simple no comes eso to a more complex no me lo digas, you've unlocked a whole new layer of communication. So the only real question is, what's the first thing you're going to tell someone not to do?